Hey, this is Scott with Hawaii Jetboat Adventures, and this is episode 13, Spare Me. It took me a while to find a suitable spare for my trailer, and I finally found one of these at the big box store. And because I found it so fast, I just bought it rather than measuring and knowing my wheel lug spacers. And I took it home and measured it, and it worked out fine. So I can highly recommend you finding a spare for you if you haven't picked up one. Also, there's a very limited space to mount the spare on our trailers, especially the 19-footer. And this particular mounting system that I got off Amazon worked out perfectly. It looked a little shaky to begin with. I mean, how does it lock with those things that seem to be just stuck there? But you'll see here in a minute. Of course, this is the ubiquitous box opening. Very heavy duty, but I can guarantee that it's going to rust. Guaranteed. Multiple holes for different size rails, and this top piece you'll see here in a moment, that is to allow you to put the lugs in to attach the tire. You've got two spacers. You'll see here. There's two right there. If you have a different lug pattern, it will work with one of those. So it's time to install. This took really a little bit of time. Actually, it took 5 minutes to put the mount onto the rail, and then I just positioned it to where I wanted it with the tire on. It was really easy. But like I said, it's going to rust, so this is going to require some serious maintenance over the course of its lifetime. I expect all the paint to probably peel off because, let's face it, I'm in the saltwater condition, and it's pretty tough on things out here. My camera worked holding the camera with one hand, and I should have just set this on something to do this with a socket set, but and be that as it may, it looks out pretty good. Here's the backside view. I'm probably going to cut those bolts off a little bit so they're not as in the way. You can see it mounted there. I had to use that one mount hole. This thing's pretty unique. It really looked a little shaky until I actually installed it. You just turn those brackets onto the lug studs, and when they come together at the end and you lock it, you're good to go. Let's see here. These should be also greased. I'm going to take these back off. When I put my new lock on, I'm going to re-grease these things so they don't become a problem either. Has plenty of room to put any kind of lock on it, whether or not you want a keyed lock or a combination lock. Pretty straightforward. Like I said, this took only 5 minutes to install, and then getting the trailer on and doing all this stuff. You can do this inside of about 15 to 20 minutes. No worries. There it is. There's the finished project. Rock solid. Out of the way. Doesn't touch the boat. Thumbs up. Okay, so I had a request for installing fishing rods from a subscriber, Fierce Flyer 55, and I decided to put this up. This was the installation of rod holders in the back of a 2017 SX190. Now, the unique thing about putting rod holders on this small boat is you can do it, but you are limited. At least I was limited to 3 holders. You can put 2 on the stern, the swim platform, and you can put 1 in the cup holder position behind the co-pilot. Other than that, the one behind the driver's side is the cavern. The hold doesn't allow you to install the rod holder. There's just not enough room underneath. So you've got 2 choices of rod holders. You've got a 15 degree right there, and you've got a 30 degree. It's very simple. Just take out your existing cup holder. So you'll see this in a second here. You just twist the ring on your existing cup holder. There's a couple of grooves and it pops right out. And then there are 3 simple screws to remove. Do use stainless hardware. Get some hardware that works and is not going to rust your boat. I've already seen rust from some of my lesser quality stainless steel screws that I've added, so they're going to be changed out. It just drops right in. Remember, when you're doing this, make sure you have a rod so you can adjust the attitude of the rod in the holder. You don't want the cross member in the bottom where the butt of your rod would go to be kick sideways, you want to make sure you've tested it out with the rod that you intend to put back there. I used a trolling rod, stuck it in there, lined them up so the trolling rods were basically perpendicular, or I should say straight in line with the boat. The one up in the co-pilot area, I had to, you'll see that in a moment, I had to adjust that to get it to work, so that's kind of like the oddball. But there's the trolling rod in there. The butt end is attached. These rod holders have a cross member in the bottom that your butt end, if it's got that molded plus sign, will fit in perfectly. These two projects are really easy, budget a few hours. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's these cup holders from Yamaha, at least on the Yamaha SX190, the low, the basic model. It's weak. I didn't realize that some of the other boats have a drain system on these cup holders, and I was finding water in the hold on the carpet, going, where did this come from? And it turns out that it's from me washing down the boat, and then the water getting into those areas and dropping all over the floor and making a mess. So if you want to try it, I did create a drain system for all of my cup holders on the boat on the left and right side. It's a pain to do, but now unless it rains or you really get serious water in over the seats, the hold stays fairly dry, and it's not coming in from any of the cup holders. And this is a little shot of the vinyl tube that I placed, and you run it back from all the cup holders. You'll put all these T-fittings in line, trying to create a slope heading to the back of the boat, and eventually I put a little hole in the bulkhead and drained it so that, and I dropped the vinyl tube end below the deck so it creates that suction. So the end of the boat right there. Actually, I actually dropped it even deeper into the bilge than this to create that vacuum. That's it. It was a pain to do. This is definitely where I discovered wearing knee pads on the boat when I'm working on it. I don't put the carpets in, and well, that's it. All pal, big mahalo for watching and subscribing. We'll see you next time.